Completely random, but have y'all seen chapter 5 of Poppy Playtime? Because I have a lot of criticisms to say about it. I'm specifically talking about the actual game. And I honestly feel like I feel like the chapters started to fall off after chapter 3. I think chapter 3 is the last good chapter. I do have a question. Why does he have 3 arms for a dick? Some people can be like, you're just mad that you have 1 wiener and he has 3. Again, I do have problems with I have problems with the gameplay itself. Why on earth does Huggy Wuggy get 3 different chase sequences? Did the developers really need to show Huggy Wuggy that much? I think we need to kill off that character. You wanna know something else? Hang on, I saw this tweet from right here. You guys see this tweet here? The way I see it, this is a perfect analogy of the devs not knowing when to let go of Huggy Wuggy. The fucking prototype is everyone being like, you guys gotta kill off this character. And then fucking, what is it? Kissy Missy is the dead horse that is Huggy Wuggy that the critics are fucking killing off. And then Huggy Wuggy is the developers trying to cling on to Huggy Wuggy or Kissy Missy or something like that. This is a perfect analogy as to what's wrong with the game at the moment. So that's how I see it right now. I don't think this chapter is that good. I don't like Lily that much. I don't like the focus on Huggy, and especially the chase sequence. I don't like the chase sequence, the final chase sequence of the prototype, because it's supposed to be this hey, let's take everything you've learned over the past few chapters and put them into one amalgamation of a chase sequence. I feel like that sounds like a good idea, but the problem with that is that it doesn't translate well into gameplay, because what actually happens is that you scramble to all of your mechanics, trying to swap over to whichever mechanic you need to use to get past a certain section of the chase sequence, and it results in a bunch of trial and error. Where it's just oh, you're gonna die multiple times, and you can't get past this until you remember what mechanic that you actually have to use from your grab pack. And it's a really annoying thing. It's really annoying. Yeah, that can be hard. It's not hard. Oh, no, it is hard, but it's unnecessarily so. And I've talked with a few other game designers. And they agree that, dude, this game, man, Poppy Playtime has some stupidly difficult puzzles. And I was almost thinking okay, I can't tell if this is a skill issue for me or if these are just genuinely really stupid to understand. It'd work better if you didn't have to go extremely quick. The way it switches is just not a good idea for what it's trying to do. Yeah, and actually, now that you think about it, I don't think that works at all, because you have to go quick because it's a chase sequence. If you don't go as quick, it doesn't feel like a chase sequence. Because the game to compare Poppy Playtime to is Bendy and the Ink Machine. That's the most obvious comparison, right? It started off as Poppy Playtime started off as a Bendy ripoff, or a Bendy copy. I don't know, a ripoff at this point. It kind of became its own thing, but you know that the inspiration came from Bendy. And the difference between Bendy and Poppy is that you notice that each chapter has a different antagonist in Poppy Playtime. You know, chapter 1 you have Huggy, chapter 2 Mommy Longlegs, chapter 3 Catnap, chapter 4 you suddenly have 3 more enemies that you need to deal with. The Doctor, Yarnaby, and it's just it's a mess, man. And then Chapter 5 obviously is focused on the prototype, but we have Lily as well. He didn't become a ridiculously scary threat until the 5th chapter. When you have Bendy, and this is not me glazing Bendy, by the way. I'm just gonna say right now, I don't think Bendy is that scary of a game. But they had the Ink Demon as like a prevalent threat throughout the entirety of the game. I think because of that makes for, because of that, it's Bendy in Bendy and the Ink Machine is a very good villain. It's a consistent threat, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know, I just have some problems with Poppy Playtime, and especially because the way I see Poppy Playtime right now, it is currently the face of why mascot horror is dying. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I cared that much about how like mascot horror is dying, because like, you know, I mean, other than Poppy Playtime, we also have some like other ones. We have fucking Garden of Banban. But you'll notice that like the 3 games that I just listed so far, Bendy, Poppy Playtime, Garden of Banban, and you could even include Dark Deception in this as well. You know what they all have in common? It's that they're all releasing, well, they all release in chapters, and I don't think chapter releases should be how you do it. I think if you want to release a game or something like that, you should do it like by the time like the entirety of the game is finished. Because and especially the way I see Poppy Playtime right now, the story started from being a Bendy like copy to trying to see how it can be its own thing, and it's struggling right now with how chapters 4 and 5 are going. Should we count FNAF? No, I don't think FNAF really counts, because they didn't release in chapters. Yes, you have like 1, 2, 3, and 4, but like those are like actual like games, and then especially after Sister Location, they became very, very different from each other at that point. I don't think those exactly are chapters. I mean, kind of they are, but you get what I mean. The reason why I don't consider like FNAF to be in this argument is that those games released as their own games, you know? My problem with these chapter releases is that they're all part of the same game. I low-key do not understand the Poppy Playtime lore, and that's another problem actually. The fact that you say that, if you say that, and I think the same thing, that means so many more people are going to be saying that. I don't understand the Poppy Playtime lore. I understand it up until like chapter 3. And then chapter 4 is where I started to get lost. I might be biased because I'm no fan of Poppy Playtime. I'm not as crazy of a fan of FNAF anymore. I'm not too crazy about like Bendy at this point. In terms of the actual building, I'm just trying to figure out how people did things in the building without getting lost or stuck. I'm wondering how the building even looks the way it does, actually. I'm trying to figure out how the building looks the way it does. How did people get the building to look how it looks? I don't know if anyone's noticed. I don't really make content like based on like Poppy Playtime. I did one song cover, and I don't even advertise it as a Poppy Playtime like song cover. Whereas like FNAF and Bendy, I think they did well. I don't find Bendy that scary, and I think FNAF's most recent games are really bad, but for the time they were around, I think they were really good. And that's kind of why I'm comfortable with being like, hey, I'm making content based on this game. And for that reason as well, I don't because of that, I don't like Poppy Playtime. Because you know what it's inspired by, and you know that the developers don't like that they knew that it was inspired by Bendy. Let's compare like FNAF. I think the lore of FNAF is significantly easier to understand when you think about like the first 7 games, like from FNAF 1 to Ultimate Custom Night. It's very set in stone. I think FNAF lost its lore by the time Help Wanted came out. So it went from a typical ghost story to, oh, someone got scooped and a robot's using their body to walk around, to everything dying together, you know? And then suddenly, like, FNAF goes from that to, this is more electronic. This is more electronic and stuff. And now you need to use logic as to why something might be happening. And they throw in, like, the fucking references here and there and stuff. Poppy Playtime, it's similar to FNAF, how, like, oh, chapter 1 to 3, you can kind of understand the lore. Now, the problem with that is that the lore doesn't end there. The lore doesn't end in, like from chapter 4 and 5. Me, when I'm ranting about Poppy Playtime, and people are just like, just enjoy just let people enjoy the game, you know? In which, more power to you, that's completely fine. But I do have my criticism still, you know? I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that Poppy Playtime is so grand and stuff like that, you know? A big thank you to my YouTube members on screen, as well as to Shaylin96 for their major support of my videos.